trees with limbs that are tied together must be fallen together. This is a dangerous situation because you have to leave an already cut standing tree to work on another tree. Determine the lean of both trees and decide in which direction to fall. Usually, the direction of the fall goes with the dominant lean. Check the tree's stability. Check for overhead hazards on both trees. Brush out and cut escape routes for both trees. Always start on the lower or front tree. Be sure to leave enough holding wood. Set the wedges to stabilize the tree. Strike the wedges alternately until the limbs of the first tree begin to pull on the second tree. Once you are finished working on this tree, you can never go back to it. Move to the second tree, always keeping an eye open for any movement in the cut tree. As you cut the second tree, keep your eyes on the first as well. Watch for any movement. When the tree starts to fall, move along your escape route and watch out for overhead hazards. Pushing trees always presents a higher degree of risk because the faller has to leave a standing cut tree to work on another tree. And in this situation, the first tree is leaning back into the standing timber. Complete a tree assessment on both trees. Determine the direction of fall of both trees and make sure the pusher tree is leaning into the tree you want to push. The pusher tree must be free of defects and be able to overcome the weight of the first tree. Brush out around both trees and cut 2 escape routes, removing any tripping hazards. Make an undercut no more than 1/4 the diameter of the tree. Continue the back cut until you feel the tree starting to sit back on the saw. Leave some holding wood intact and make sure the wedges are well set. Once you finish cutting this tree, you can never go back to it. Move to the second tree, keeping an eye open for any movement in the cut tree. Fall the second tree. As the tree starts to fall, move away along the escape route and take cover. Tree assessment is key to both identifying and working with dangerous trees. Look for defects and think about where the tree could possibly fail. And ensure there is an unobstructed path for the tree to fall. Brush out a work area around the base of the tree. Create 2 well-brushed out escape routes. Remove any material on the ground that could be thrown back when the butt lands. Start the undercut at a comfortable height to ensure maximum visibility and freedom of movement. Make the undercut slightly larger than normal and ensure the undercut is cleaned out. Start the back cut a minimum of 2 inches above the undercut. Watch the top, limbs, and defect areas for any sign of movement while making cuts. As soon as the tree starts to fall, move away along your escape route and take cover. Notice the large anti-kickback step and rotten wood on this stump. This tree has a split trunk, exposing a rotten core. Check for sound wood and determine the extent of the rot. Start your cuts above the rot at a comfortable height. If possible, the undercut must be placed in sound wood. When the tree is settled, go back and remove the stump so it doesn't become a hazard for the harvesting crew. You should only attempt to fall a tree against the lean when conventional wedging is not possible and a pusher tree is not available. Assess the tree, brush out around it, and clear 2 escape routes. Place the back cut in first. Set a wedge as soon as possible to prevent the saw from getting pinched. Make sure the wedges are set tightly. Finish the back cut. Start the undercut with the top cut first. The top cut should be at least 2 inches below the back cut to provide an anti-kickback step. Alternate hitting the wedges to force the tree over. When the tree begins to fall, move away along your escape route and take cover. Short, stubby trees lack enough height to fall over because their base is heavier than the stem. These trees have the potential to collapse. Brush out a work area around the base of the tree. Remove any material on the ground that could be thrown back when the butt lands. Create 2 well-brushed out escape routes. Make a deeper undercut than normal. A larger undercut minimizes the use of wedges and wedging vibration. The undercut should be approximately 1/3 to 1/2 the diameter of the tree. Due to the unstable nature of the stem, continually watch the top for any indication of it falling or collapsing. Clean out the undercut, as any debris can interfere with the fall. Remove any moss or rot from the stem. If you have to use wedges, you need to place them into solid wood. Make the back cut with at least a 2-inch step. Palm a wedge in the back cut as soon as possible to prevent the tree from sitting back on the bar. When wedging, remove your earmuffs and turn off the saw. You want to be able to hear the slightest movement in the tree. It's easy to flip your screen out of the way whenever you're looking up, but flip it back down when you go back to cutting. Gently tap the wedges and watch the tree for movement. Scrutinize the whole stem after every tap. Wedging vibrations act as shock waves that can cause loose bark, rotten tops, or limbs to break off. Never drive or strike a wedge as you would in normal falling techniques. The tree is not sound, and striking it could cause the tree to fail. Ensure the holding wood is left intact. If the holding wood is cut, the stem will sit back on the stump and not fall over. Watch the cut closely and listen for any tree movement. Be prepared to move away and take cover at any sign the tree is falling or collapsing. When the tree starts to fall, move away along your escape route and take cover, and watch for falling debris. Jacking is a specialty falling technique used when a large tree must be felled in a specific direction or can't be brought into the lay of the timber by conventional falling. Because the undercut is so large, the faller must cut it out in large chunks. Use a wedge to hold the undercut off your bar. The faller uses a boring cut to buck out the chunks. Make sure the undercut is properly cleaned out. The faller uses his axe to clean out the cut. That way, he doesn't risk inside slabs falling on his arm. Scribe the back cut first to make sure it's level and parallel to the undercut. It's important to place wedges when jacking. If the jack were to fail, the wedges would hold the tree. Use a stick to measure the height of the jack. Mark this distance below the back cut. If you make the cut too large, you reduce the potential lift from the jack. Make a horizontal cut deep enough to let the jack sit comfortably. Make 2 vertical boring cuts towards the heart of the tree, as if you were cutting a piece of pie. These cuts should be wide enough to allow the jack to sit in the tree. Remove the cutout segment. Insert the jack and place the jack plate on top of the lift ram. Ensure the jack is level and stable. Large trees will require 2 jacks. Jacking is a 2-person operation with the faller in charge. There needs to be clear communication between the jack operator and the faller. The jack operator should be in a safe position to avoid being struck by a flying jack plate or falling debris. Place wedges in the back cut to offset the strain on the jacks. Wedges must be set progressively while jacking the tree. Pump the jack until force is applied to the tree. Begin to cut the remaining wood. Periodically, pump the jack, lifting the tree. Continue cutting until only the required holding wood remains. lift the tree with the jacks until the tree falls.